Hey everybody, it's Michelle Walker Wade here with another Get Mobilized moment. Today I had the privilege of being a invited panelist. Well, I wasn't a panelist. I was called there to have an exhibit booth and to be a resume, to sit as a resume reviewer at the Northern California Silicon Valley Career Strategy Forum. And the one I was at was held in Union City, California, and I went as a representative for the school where I managed the career training program. And it was such a privilege to be able to go and just help job seekers who have been out of work for quite some time and really in need of encouragement, really in need of good solid information. And we got good reviews from the attendees. Everyone was so excited about us being there, and really appreciated the information we were able to share with them. One of the things I did today at the Career Strategy Forum is I was one of the resume reviewers. And so I saw several people, talk to them about their resumes, review their resumes, asked them a variety of questions, and just got clarification on what they're trying to present and how they're trying to present themselves on their resume. And I walked away considering or remembering my 5 top suggestions that I made to people about their resume, which means they were also the 5 top issues that people had with their resume. And I want to share those 5 with you. The first of all, I saw many people who had the one resume fits all. So instead of having 2 or 3 resumes, and I recommend no less than 3, unless you've had the exact same job duties for 20 years. But 3 resumes, people had one resume which they were hoping to use for whatever job they decided to apply. And so for many people, all except one actually, my top suggestion was to not try to put everything on one resume. One resume cannot fit all jobs. As much as you would like to have this one great, fabulous resume and take it from here to there, that one resume is not enough to show all of your skills, all of your experience the way that it should. And it's not enough to target your resume to a job ad. And if you follow my videos, you know I'm really big on targeting your resumes. And if you haven't seen my other videos, go ahead and take a look at them, because I'm really, really big on targeting resumes, because you're trying to get a specific job at that point with a resume that's aimed at the world. So my number one recommendation to everyone is to step away from the one resume fits all, and go ahead and target your resumes. If you don't believe you're able to write a targeted or to produce a targeted resume for every job, then at least have 3 resumes, depending on the different skills and experiences that you need to bring out, and depending on the typical job titles that you'll go after. You'll need to have a resume for each of those. So that's suggestion number 1. That was my top suggestion. The second thing that I saw a lot of was ineffective use of the top section of page 1 of your resume. Hiring managers, employers, recruiters are going to give your resume an initial 15 to 30 second look. And so if they don't see what they're looking for in the first 15 to 30 seconds, that resume is going to go into a side pile. That side pile could be the trash, or that side pile could be a pile that I'm going to come back to if I don't see anything else. But the initial look is 15 to 30 seconds. So it is very important that you put the most relevant information to the job at the top of your resume. At the top of page 1 of your resume. So of course, like I've said before in other videos, you've got your name and your contact information at the very, very top. The next thing should be something that's going to immediately grab the reader's attention to say, this person is interested in the job that I'm posting. So again, that kind of puts you in a position where you have to target that resume, target specifically that stuff that's the very beginning of your resume, whether you choose to do a career profile statement or whether you choose to do a summary of qualifications. And I also saw lots of people using objectives. If you choose to use an objective, it should be a very tailored objective to the job, not your random objective, but a very tailored objective to the job for which you're applying. If you are, in fact, going to use an objective, you want to make sure, again, like I'm saying, that is very tailored. But regardless of what it is, whether it's your summary of qualifications that's at the top of your page, or whether it's a career profile that's at the top of the page, or whether it's an objective statement, it needs to instantly connect to the job ad, so that when the employer is going through those 15 to 30 seconds, they're right there at the top. The next thing that you want to do as you go down the resume is the next thing that will catch the reader's eye is which section is the largest section. So if you have the next largest section on your resume is giving all the details of a job that is not relevant to the job for which you're applying, you have now just drawn the reader's eyes to a job that has nothing to do with the job that you want right now, or the job that you're applying for right now. So, and this is a time where you have to kind of make those jobs that, even if it was the job that you had the longest, but if it's not relevant to the job that you're applying for, you kind of need to minimize and make it smaller and use more space to build up or to boast up on the job that is most relevant to the job for which you're applying. So that's the second thing I saw quite a bit of, is inefficient and ineffective use of the top section of your first page of the resume. Number 3, I saw where I saw use, or I'll say poor use of objective statements. If you're following the latest information on resumes, job objectives, to have an objective on your resume, is not really something that the employer is looking for anymore. They'd much rather see a career profile, or they'd much rather see a summary of qualifications, not so much an objective statement. You could choose to put a target job title at the top and then follow that by a summary of qualifications, or you could choose to just go ahead and put a very well written career profile. And I've got a video here on YouTube on the target job title and as well as the summary of qualifications. Have not yet put one up as of now, and today is June 28, 2012. I have not yet put up a video on the career profile, but I would really urge you to, as comfortable as you may be with having an objective statement, I really encourage you to consider not using an objective statement and go ahead and putting forth the effort and the energy to writing about a 5-line career profile or a bulleted list of summary of qualifications. And at a later date, I'll talk to you about which one is best, why you should use one over the other. But for now, I'm just really suggesting that you do away with the objective statement at the top of your resume. Another thing I saw quite a bit today in the body of the resume, where the job seeker is describing their previous jobs, I saw a lot of what looks like an obvious, where you obviously took the job description of the job that you were doing and just put it into your resume, and you just almost put it word for word. The employer wants to know what you did, but they don't really want to read your duties. Especially if you did the same job over and over and over again. They don't want to read duties. You know, I was a sous chef for Cheesecake Factory, and I was a sous chef for Elephant Bar, and I was a sous chef for P.F. Chang's. A sous chef is a sous chef, so you don't really need to list those duties and responsibilities over and over and over again. The employer who's trying to hire you now, they want to know that you were a sous chef, and you can put some information in there about the typical things that a sous chef will do. But really what they want to know is what that you accomplish, not just what were your duties, not just what you did. Obviously, if you had the job for any amount of time, you did the duties. But what the employer wants to know, how did you go above and beyond the duties? What money did you save? What problems did you solve? What did you manage? What did you oversee? And what was the impact of it? This is what they want to see, not just your duties. So my suggestion is, if you've only listed your duties, take some time to consolidate some of those duties so that they're not just going on and on and on forever. Consolidate them. Take out unnecessary parts of it that are obvious, that you obviously did if you did the job, and replace those with some accomplishment statements to tell us how you saved money, how you saved time, how you managed people, how you problem solved, how you worked in a team. How, not that you just did it, but how you did it. Okay, so that's my next suggestion. And my last and final, I believe this is number 5, suggestion that I gave to many people today, which again, if I'm giving suggestions, this means these are the problems that I saw. The last and final was poor formatting. The resumes weren't really formatted poorly, but they were just too crowded. They were either too crowded, or the font was too small, or the margin was too small. You want to stick with the 1-inch margin all the way around the page, with the exception of your contact information that's in the header of your first page. That's the only thing that can go above the 1-inch margin. Everything else needs to stay within the 1-inch margin. On the left, on the right, and on the bottom. Stay within a 1-inch margin. The other thing is your fonts. Nothing less than a 10, preferably a 12. 11 will work, but nothing less than a 10. I saw a resume today that I'm pretty sure was about a size 8. No one's going to want to read a font size that small. The other thing I saw was just a crowded paper. There was hardly no white space on the paper. You want to make sure that you don't have so much information that the paper's crowded and we can't tell where one line ends and the next one begins. Make sure you have space in that resume so that when the human eye gets to read it, if it's just a scanner that's reading the resume, it's going to pick up just based on words. But once the human eye is reading that resume, make it easier on the reader, which means you're going to have to take out some unnecessary information to make space for the really good targeted information, the information that shows your depth of the job, not just your duties of the job. You want to use that space on those 2 pages, no more than 2 pages now. So use that space on those 2 pages wisely. All right, I hope this has helped you, and I encourage you to take a look at your resume, and if you fit into this category, the categories I mentioned here, go ahead and take time and fix it before you put it out again. All right, this has been Michelle Walker Wade with another Get Mobilized moment, and I hope you have a great and fabulous day.